There we go. All right. Whew. Long day. So let me try and sum this up as best as I can because this is actually pretty awesome. Though I don't know if many people watch the stream. But then again, it was kind of long and no fun sounds. So here we go. The big bad boy. I do not think is big enough for my head. This thing is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I've piddled around and in absolutely no way, shape, form, or fashion remotely a decent um, 3D printing enthusiast. Um, but my gods, this is easily the most gorgeous 3D print, let alone perfectly printed 3D helmet I've ever had. I mean, yeah, there's some layer lines going on, but second here. I really need to get into better routines with doing this stuff. Okay, here. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's at least one down. I'll share the other ones later. But let us take him off. Wow, it's still holding. I mean, most of the beds, they don't always hold. Oh, this is the cold side. That one tends to work a little better. But as you can see, before we go too far into it, God, I'm sorry. I'm still taken away by how amazing this is. Even if I got the sizing wrong, I'm turning this into wall art. But yeah, this is not as pronounced as the last Doom helmets that I tried up there. Yeah, you've got it. I mean, like, this sanding isn't that hard. And dang, I gotta double check my settings because, like, it's only 20% infill. Jeez, I feel like I can headbutt somebody in this. Okay, yeah, let's see. So, yeah, and I'll work out a thing where I use my phone camera next time. Learning curve. Okay, yeah, you can see that there is actually some layer lines here, but I mean, in comparison to my, I've never really gotten my Neptune 4 Max calibrated properly. Hope I'll have time to work on that now because I have this incredible thing. I'm sorry, I know I'm gushing, but it's like this thing's just freaking incredible. Like I have done helmet prints in the past, and I've woken up being my first thought before coming in here to check the print is like, please God, please, please don't let it mess up. And this is like my only concern when I woke up this morning. Did I get the measurements right? I don't think I did, but that's beside the point. Um, so yeah, you've got the layer lines in there. You can see them kind of here, but they're not very pronounced, so they're probably easy to file out. One thing I will note that's a little odd to me because I've done the red helmet back up there, finger point thing. Um, red helmet back up there is actually my attempt at printing the Dio 3D. It's the Deadpool helmet where like you can replace the bottom part with the zombie portion. I actually don't like that one as much because for me and my big hands and the magnets and everything, it's just like trying feels a bit too close to trying to reverse Humpty Dumpty. So putting him back together again, and it just feels like I have to put it together just the right way, then put it on my head, then put the pieces on. So I'm going to try and reprint the first version they did, which is actually the full headpiece and then the sides and the back. Only problem is, it seems to be too big to do on my Centauri, which sucks. But for right now, Doom. Okay, the definition. I did this on point 12. Yeah, the fine setting, so 0.12 millimeters. 20% infill, God, that was about it. I mean, to be honest, the Centauri Carbon is insane because it is the only calibration I've really done, aside from the auto calibration, is calibrating out the filament settings, which I had wrong. And if I keep working on that, they may fix it with this. That may actually clear up the line problems. But angle this a bit better. Hopefully that'll work. But now we get to do the fun part. And I just realized I don't have my pliers here in case I need them for this. I did do it with the on bed set. What is it? On print bed only. So it. Ooh, that actually. Wow. Sorry, I've oftentimes had it where like the supports leave like even with the only thing that's changed on my Neptune when it comes to the on bed plate only is that you don't have to like try and I don't know bring in Arnold Schwarzenegger to resolve the hostage situation to get it back. It just comes off, but often is left at a lot more damaged and rough around the edge than this has. This is great. I gotta admit, I need to double check my settings because I'm not used to this being this. Like, even the supports feel thicker than I'm used to being. Nice! I always find that kind of looks like a brain matter or something. It's kind of cool. In a just in more of a kind of way. Oh, wow. Okay. Like my Doom helmets, and again, this could be calibration issues on the printer, but my Doom elements don't, my Doom helmets, not elements, like they're going to have this in here just from the supports, but this is nothing compared to what I have in there. I need to figure out a way to fill this in or file it down, but geez, this is amazing. And the cosplay armor that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to try and do all of it from scratch, which means I get to learn how to make a cloak. Which is not a great time for Joann's to be going out of business. The heck else am I supposed to actually get like a 6 foot tall body's worth of green fabric and possibly green velvet and fur and gold lining. And then also doing a counter version because we've got one World Under Doom going, so I have to also do a Cloak of Levitation. It's going to be awesome, but it's still like, thank you for going out of business now, Joanne. Okay, here's where we want to be very... One second. I'm going to go hunt down some pliers and some cutters. Okay. For some reason, which I do not understand, these are in my bedroom. Go figure. Okay. Because I do not want anything to happen to this face area. Another reason that I like this, because like I'm mostly running the cosplay, the armor sets that I have are from Yosh Studios. I managed to get the full armor plates from there. I am going to be varying it up a bit because I'm not sure if it's Yosh's finger armor is stunning. It's very ornate, but for my particular suit, what I have in mind, I'm worried that I was worried before, but on this particular issue, maybe not as much. I was worried about trying to successfully print something that small and detailed on my Neptune. I am not worried about that on my Carbon, but in addition to that problem, it was also trying to make sure that they don't fall off the system that I'm designing. So I'm actually going to try and mix things up just an interesting little bit. I'm going to try and use the so I got them for no wait, these are the ones I paid for. I was originally going to use the glove from DO3D's Infinity War Winter Soldier. I'm actually going to, because I got them while they were on sale, I'm actually going to go with their Rivals version, which looks a little bit better and doesn't have that finer detail that I think would clash with Doom. But I like the way that the Rivals glove works. The tricky part will actually be to invert the hand. That'll take some finickiness. But, let's see here. Yeah, these are much more dense than I'm used to them coming through in the Neptune. And then again, I think I more often than not just crack it straight with the pliers than anything else. It's just with these little tiny areas, I want to try and make sure I don't break anything. Because this one has overall this I think is supposed to be from the second Fantastic Four film, and overall I like it. One of the reasons I liked it a bit more was over those they do not have any. The only holes you have in that entire helmet are the eyes. These you'll see more once I get further. You can probably make out a bit of it, but oh wow, I didn't even realize it had holes there. 1 second. Like, I was wanting to do this to begin with, just for fun, but now that I'm actually taking this journey into voice acting as well, I'm kind of like, this has to be the way it has. This is something I've got to do. So I'm going to try and do that live stream stuff that I was going to do for my voice acting, and in order to and in a weird way of tying it into 3D printing, is to make sure that I have a helmet that I can talk through, so that I'm like Richards, and you're not like Richards. Like, no, I want to actually do this and look good doing it. Because for me, with a character as fascinating as Doom, it's not really enough to just dress up as him. It's like, it's not enough. When I do it, I want people to be very confused about where Dr. Doom came from. Since it's supposed to be Robert Downey Jr. Okay, there we go. But this one's cool because it actually has the vent grills. And if this actually doesn't fit, I'm beginning to wonder. I'm definitely going to do the whole light up effect for the entire, like, make it into a wall piece and put lights on all the sides. Overall, if this doesn't fit, I'm just going to turn it into a test case, practice use for sanding it out, prepping it, Prepping the final project. Okay, please do not break. Whew, I was a bit worried I was about to break that. But he has the grill pieces that you can print. I'm going to try and find a way to keep that breathable and make it where it'll still have the sound go through clearly, but also allow for the lighting. Okay. I don't think I've had supports come off this easily and clean. Okay, correction. Inside supports have been a bit more of a pain than I'm used to. I'm referring to the edges. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm going to have to do some sanding and stuff and figure out how to do that properly for just in general, but still, it's not a lot. I mean, this is really making me realize that I needed to fix my... I've really needed to figure out how to calibrate my Neptune for a long time, and a lot more than I realized. Okay, come on, you... Just they went through the grill. I should have... Ah, there we are. This is great. I can easily pretty much do... I can do a stream and just fix these. Because I'm like, I've got the little sanding piece system that can cover most of this. I may need to tweak my mic settings, which is weird considering that the mic's kind of got turned and hidden. Okay. Okay. And I use the stock settings for the eye, so that may affect some of it, but I don't know. And I meant not the eyes, I meant the supports. Well, okay then. Look at that. That is incredible. And what's even better, I didn't even think, I thought I was going to have to do this myself. It has nostrils. Which sounds kind of weird saying it that way. But let's see how well this works, because it might... Oh my god. Oh my god. It's... I didn't think it was going to fit. I mean, it's still too small, but... I almost had it. This is awesome. Oh, wow. I almost freaking had it. I also like, and no offense to Yosh or anything, but one issue I had, and if, actually here, let me bring him down. Because you'll see it as soon as I bring it up. Okay. Mike could make it out. It'll definitely... There. Like, when I was trying to use this, there's another sizing method that some people have that I thought I was going to have to use here. And I may use it just a little bit to try and recalibrate. I'll show it on as I do the stream, because for me, helmets are like Rubik's Cubes or dating. One of those impossible concepts that make theoretical physics look relatively simple. Anyway, this one, I did actually, it does technically fit. Kind of. My eyes are... And this is using a method that somebody had where you kind of have some virtual heads. My concern is simply going to be, like, once I can finally figure out how to do a wig cap for this, figuring out how to make it hold, but we'll see how that works. Those things are just confusing. It's one of those, like, if it's not something I can have somebody walk me through, and you expect me to do it in a mirror where everything is backwards, but your video is supposed to be forwards, yeah, autism brain. But still, this is like, it fits my face perfectly, but the problem is that my ears and any electronics are not. But the thing with this compared to Yosh's is that the reason that line is there is because I had to cut it, because using this other method, you size the helmet around the head, and the only way to get my eyes through the hole was to lower it, the height-wise, which meant that my head came out of here. So the only way to fix that was to use Orca Slicer to cut it. And then I thought, oh, let me see if I can put it back together again. Still, one second, let me check one other thing. Okay, so that's not too bad. Okay. Let's go. Trying to see where my... You can't really see it, and I definitely would shave... And hopefully lose a little weight, but definitely would shave before, so yeah. And then there'd be neck stuff and everything. So yeah. I don't think I have to go up very far. Let me see. So here's what we're going to do now. Then I'm going to start up another one. Eventually this will get back to... yeah, eventually this will hopefully get back to 3D printing house stuff. This was just like my one kind of opportunity for this bit. So, let's see. Add the extra plate in here, and actually let me make me very small. I don't need to be, I'm not as important as this screen right now. Okay, there we go. So. See if I can... Is it gonna be in the 3D section? I gotta figure out where I hid this stupid file. There. Import the geometry only onto the other bed. Good lord. may have those measurements off a bit. Because okay. Now I just wish I knew what the correct thing would be. Actually, I'll leave that so I have a little bit of a gap way there. I'm gonna just turn you. Nope, that's not what I meant. Oh, this is gonna be the interesting part. And to be honest, it's only really the width that I need to make sure works. But okay, red is the one I need. Okay, so I think my other head is wrong. Okay, I need to figure out how to. Yeah, it's got to be a bit. Let me see. Okay, so if my head fits comfortably on this, 0.25. Okay, so if it's 26 in calculator time. Okay. So it's based on the presumption that it's 24 inch. The standard, from my understanding, is that it's 24 inches. 24-inch circumference is the standard helmet design size. I was estimating that my head was about a 26-inch circumference, which is what is it again? It's not. I need this more complicated calculator. Okay. Okay, yeah, there it is. So it was 100 times 26 divided by 24. Who thought this would be ending up in this stream? It was odd. I thought I had different math than that. Squaring that, that's 108.33. Which means it's more than 26 inches because this is 108.33% should be the scale, which is not here. Okay, so 109.25. 109.25 times 24. Divide that by 100. It's 26.22. Right. Okay. Let me try this real quick. You know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna do this real quick. Okay. So this is a 20. What size is this one again? Circumference is 23.2. Okay, let's see here. So 3. No. 100 times 26 divided by 23 is 113. Which is why that's... How am my math off this? What the heck is going on here? Unless, go back to standard. 100 times 26. Divide that by 23.2 is 100. Oh, no, remember, I forgot the 0.2. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and do the easy version here. Okay. Go away menus or notices. Okay. Actually, switch this back around this way. Okay, let's compare that with this. I mean, my eyes fit perfectly, but the headpiece... Oh, wait. No, I think it... Okay, that means that this head sizing is off. Oh, wait. Second here. I have the window in the way. Hope I get this right. Okay. So, let's see. Okay, it's not quite there. It's about... Okay, I've got the numbers off on here somewhere. Because this isn't matching up, right? Okay, we're on the head. Okay, I'm going to drop this to 1. Yeah, it's at 109.25, and that fits snug on my face. It's just the ears where it needs to get bigger, so let me just ignore the height part and see what I can do to make this come roomier around the face. So make this 1.5. I know that this... It's the height, really, that's wrong. Yeah, I don't know why this is coming up quite this way. Let me adjust the math a little bit more. So if that was, what if it was 25.75? 100 times 25 divided by, no wait, whoa. 100 times 25.75 divided by 23.2 is 110.9. What did I have this one at? You have it at... So, 26? 23.2? Second. So, 25.75 is 110, or 111. 100 times 26 divided by 23.2 is 112. So dropping it down to 11. Okay, so in so right here is where I want to see it. That was, you know how badly that turned out. Nope, that's really not where I need it. Okay, let me focus just on getting this sizing to work. I mean, that kind of matches up, but it's just the head height is still wrong. Gonna have to do this the inverted way, and then get the helmet file to work, and then match the head up to the helmet file. Honestly, I'm beginning to think that this may be... Okay. Okay, that's actually pretty decent there. So we're going to say that the head is actually... Okay, 111 seems a little bit more accurate for my head size. Okay, so for Doom... because I'm going to need wiring and everything, I'm going to bump this up to 109.75. Worst case, I just have to put... So this gets too big around here where it falls down lower. I just have to put padding in to raise it up, and then maybe something here. This will be my first ever attempt at doing a full helmet, so this should be interesting. It's more about getting it around the having enough room for cabling. Just bump it up to 110. Okay, here's what I want to do. Because that thing is going right over my ear, so I need to bump it up a bit more. $110.5. Okay, might be start to get a bit on the big side. Just okay. It's almost there. Let's try 0.75. Because this is that one. That's 9, 10, 10. It's about 3% increase, and that I think may actually be worth trying. Okay. Go eat. Okay. There's a way to orient this where it will still work on the Centauri. Please. Never mind. Okay, so it fits back on the bed plate again. Okay. Strength was at 20 with a gyroid. Supports tree auto grid on build player. Okay, let's go ahead and slice this and see what it looks like. I'll be right back. I'm going to the bathroom. Okay, that's going to take a bit, but it's already at 80%, so not the worst. Then we're going to go ahead and have the next part ready and play around with this a bit. 246, it's not half bad for this time of night. Okay. Still only about half a roll. Which is not half bad, really. Still roughly the same time frame. That is going to be cutting it close. Let me actually go back and nudge this back a little bit. I do not like that much. I don't like that stuff on the front. Well, you know, it wouldn't be this hard if you actually had reasonably sized. Nope, not that. Really? Going to be pedantic. Okay, I'll slice that again in a bit. Let me pull up the next project piece. So many to work on eventually. Where is it? It's the... Nope. Nope. Wait, where the heck is it? Oh, maybe they changed how they have them listed on their website. Oh, there's the cue card. I need to do that one. Really, really need to resolve my... No, wait, there's the Vader Classic helmet. I still haven't cleaned up my hard drive when I ported that over. No, Dr. Doom, who's got, wait. No, that's 4,500, that's 4,500. What the heck is it? Downloads. Oh, wait. I don't think I've Right, the Omnifiles, MagSafe, Model CC, Sith, Minecraft, Vader. No, because you know what, I'll just do it again. I just can't believe I was still this freaking close. I don't know if I will do the grills for this particular one. Might. I mostly want to try and use that to... Yeah, because see, essentially it's got grills. Pretty much any open space except the nostrils has a printable grill. I've got some... I need to figure out where they are because they were on the table that now hoists the Centauri up, but this is actually... I've got the green LED see-through lights for this because Doom does not just deserve a decent armor. He deserves an armor that fully represents the extent of his might, of his will, of his power and achievements and status. Which means it must be capable of glowing. Never thought to use the deburring tool like this to help get these rough parts down that are a pain to sand. Probably need to replace the blade on here though. Yeah, most of the detail ones are ones that most people wouldn't see. The rough spots, aside from a few lines where I have to edge it out a bit, but most of these rough spots are on the inside and nobody's really going to see that. Yeah, I've got some rough spots on here from where some of the supports came in, but I mean, this is just me needing to get the right kind of stuff going. Kind of bits in here. Yeah, that just needs to be pried off a little bit. Okay, let's see about this though. I thought that I had unpacked all my latest stuff from DO3D. actually have the file names the same way they usually do. Okay. Oops. Wrong board. Alrighty. Actually, let's see if there's an easier one for me to figure out the math. Okay, that's where the wrist goes. That clamps around the thumb. So okay. One second. Crazy idea that I'm not going to deal with right now. It's like, wait, why not? If they have a digital head for scaling purposes, why not a digital hand? Okay, so this one is for the left hand. Okay. Could always just start with where that meets around the hand. Okie dokie, Harbor Freighty. On. Nope, that's on. That's 0. So if I took. Remember, need to have. Okay, that's snug. That's. Come on. I want to give it room for the clearance for the wires. That's a decent start for now. Okay, 79.7. So let's round up to an even 80 millimeters. Okay, so using just the cuff part, do some quick measurements here. Or actually, no, wait, do it this way. So that first one. Okay, it wasn't too far off on that one. Actually, that's not where I want it. I want it on the inside. Oh, to be honest, there's always a possibility it could just work. Come on. These are always tricky. Actually, wait, let me see something here. Okay, at the current scale, the width of it is... Wait, what the heck? Yeah, the blues. Okay, that was... I'm very confused with how this is supposed to go. Having that second item on this board on the thing makes it very confusing. Okay, we can try that. Okay, let me test one of the theory with this one, and then I'm going to get us started with the... Then I'll end the stream and start the next bit. Okay, the highest point is actually going to be... dang it. Okay. Distance is 81.978 millimeters. From here. So that's, this one's here, this one's here. It's this bit. Okay. Okay, I may have this measurement off. You know, I'll just print a low... I'll print a draft version. So, we will wait on that bit. Meantime... it needs to calibrate this. I want to make sure that faceplate is not there, and then I will switch out the roll of filament for now. Come on. Try and buff out these clear lines. Is that... Okay, this text here is the DO3D branding. Okay, while I wait for that to kick in. Okay, there we go. Okay, then let me just. I need to use the strips instead. The last thing I want to do is damage this. Just gotta get a few little layer lines, but that's for me to do later. Is late enough, and I have one hungry cat already, so let me go ahead and switch out the filament, and we're going to give this another shot. And I still don't like that stupid thing. The hell is this thing here? Why is it doing that? Oh. Okay. That's weird. I think if it goes back any further, it'll go off the map. Yep, it cannot go past that point, or else it'll print off the map. What if I angle this a little bit differently? Right, I know it's off the map. I just need to do this. See if I can do it where it won't need that spot in the beginning, because it's essentially just trying to okay, this is going to be interesting, because right now I'm just trying to get it to where it'll not have that issue with that one piece, which is fun. Wonder if this would count as ASMR. ASMR for 3D printing. That'd be something. Okay, let's see. It's still going to take a bit to get that file to the point. I'll go ahead and do the rest of this. That's going to be too big for that. Nope.
to be honest, a lot of these are not that big of an issue. I can just be annoyingly selectively OCD when I don't want to be. Okay. That can be dealt with. Come on. Okay, it's not bad. That I'll use the other piece for this detailing strips. Okay, 75%. Okay, it takes it a little bit longer, but I won't have to deal with that weirdness at the beginning. Let me see. No. Okay, we will give this a shot. That's still at about a little over half a roll of filament, but we got a new roll right here. Okay, I think I can. Let me go check on it because I think I can go and do the cycling now. It unloads the filament, I think. ahead and end the stream while I get everything ready, and then I'll post another one that's just the streaming the the print job. So thanks everybody and anybody who happened to watch this or will watch it when I get up, when it gets saved, and yeah, just keep working on it. Okay.